Okay, so the book is a sentimental education for the working man. It really is about a source, the Mexico City penny press, which was this wonderful source, really at sort of at its height between 1900 and 1910, and it was written by by editors who self-identified as workers for the working class, and it was satirical. So in some ways it's not like the anarchist press or the communist press or the different sort of labor union presses. It's funnier, and it deals in really interesting ways, I think, with issues of masculinity. So what I wanted to look at using the penny press was how men were beginning to rethink what it meant to be a man in this particular historical period, which is the first decade of the 20th century. Because Mexico had been changing quite a bit, a lot of urban migration, these guys are showing up, and what does it mean to be a man? And I think typically, Mexican working class men are seen as sort of quintessentially macho. They are the essence of machismo. And it tends to be a very simplistic version of what that might be. Now, a lot of modern anthropologists have sort of unpacked a little bit of that, and I wanted to do that kind of work in an historical context. So what I was interested in is sort of recovering the complex ways, the complicated ways that working class men are thinking about masculinity in this particular time period. And I wanted to look at the ways that not only were they worrying about things, but they were also laughing about things. Because I think we often forget that masculinity is not just, I mean, it's a very complicated idea. It's always in crisis, some people argue. And I think we sometimes forget that the crises of masculinity can also be very funny. And they're often funny to the people who are undergoing it. So part of what I do in the book is look at issues like patriotism and love and work and how you spend your leisure time, and looking at the sort of ways that the penny press pokes fun at the trials and tribulations of working class Mexican men as they're kind of doing all of these different kinds of things, as they're thinking about what it means to be a Mexican, what it means to, what their relationships with the women in their lives might be like, how they spend their free time now that Mexico City has become a much more exciting place than it's ever been. And how do we do that even though we're working class, we don't have a lot of money, we can't do it in the ways that are expected. So a lot of this is also about situating and constructing working class men in relation to the masculinity of other men, especially of middle class men. And again, that's another avenue for satire, is to both make fun of yourself in kind of a good-natured, good-hearted way. We're great patriots, maybe we drink too much, maybe we have too much fun, maybe we don't take work as seriously as we might. Maybe we can't always live up to our expectations as the family breadwinner, but in fact, we have sort of authentic feelings about things, as opposed to those men who are, so full of themselves. They presume they kind of run the world. They act as though they run the world. They condescend to everyone. They think they're somehow emotionally and intellectually superior to us, and we think that they're not worthy of representing Mexico. We think we are the essence of what it means to be Mexican. So that's part of what I was looking at, too, getting at notions of Mexicanness.